The massive Zerg bases are quickly taking over the building map. Every new innovation in building is adapted to fit the 200k stone castles. This leaves the smaller groups way behind. What if we could take everything great about a vital base and shrink it? Introducing the mini Château. Back to another vanilla base design. This base is the mini Château and it comes with a shrunken open core, a nice bedroom floor, wide gap peaks, and incredible roof peak ups. The minimum players you would need to build this base is around about a 4-man, however I'm sure you guys could build it with less or more depending. The base costs around about 70k stone, 50k metal, and 300 high qual. Keep in mind that I've placed a load of weird stuff to make the cinematics look cooler, so the base is actually a lot cheaper than this without all the deployables. Second up, just to make things a little bit easier to visualize, here's everything in box amounts, so this is how many boxes of each material you're going to need to build the base. Finally, this is the daily upkeep. This is going to be spread between 4 TCs total, and this is what you'll need to keep the base alive for 24 hours. Cheers to the boys who are subbing, let's try and hit 10k if we can, and also huge thanks to the 1.5% of females that are watching the video as well. Welcome, welcome. As for the base tour, it's pretty simple. We've got a basic airlock with a door and a window, which slowly leads deeper into the core. After a couple of garage doors, we're met with the first main loot room. Each box is super easy to access and you can fit multiple people here at the same time. The center hexagon has 4 vending machines that create 2 unlootable lockers. There's also space for bags and a WRKOHO shrine. At the opposite end of the hexagon is a double loot room. You can also drop down inside and walk around to your main TC. One final loot room is accessed by another garage door in the core. Once again, this loot room is massive and there's plenty of space for all your items and teammates to move around. The final garage door reveals a jump up which takes us to our bedroom floor. You can also find your tier 3 right in the middle of this level. 4 individual bedrooms are segregated off, along with a locker inside each one and sometimes a battery as well. The next level gives access to our roof peak ups, and there's also a ring before the shooting floor. The roof peak ups allow you to shoot anyone that's on your roof, and the 3 turrets cover all the blind spots. To stop raiders taking over your entire shooting floor, there's doors to separate it up. The Widegapped shooting floor provides numerous angles, and it will remain after your base has been pummeled. In the event of a pummel raid, you'll be able to use your Widegapped shooting floor to peek down inside your base. The shooting floor provides multiple ways in and out, and there's no way to ladder up. The roof is equipped with 3 turret pods that we can open from safety. There's also 3 separate airlocks to exit out onto the roof. The roof is super open, there's space for minicopters and scrap helis, and there's also plenty of room for your windmills. That concludes the tour. Hopefully from here you boys want to know how to build the base, so let's go ahead and jump into the starter. Before I forget, here's the footprint on screen. Take a screenshot of this if you need and make sure you have enough space to build the base. Start off the base with a metal hexagon and then armor up your favorite triangle. Once you're ready, wrap the triangle in walls and then place down your TC. Don't forget to give your TC a lock and then you can place a door frame to the left of the TC compartment. Then the rest of the perimeter can get a wall. Next we're going to add a window frame in front of the TC and add door frames everywhere else. Then you can slap on your doors. Then place an armored ceiling on top of your hexagon. Now that your base is secure, you're free to start farming up for main. And then you guys can design the starter however you want to. And once you're ready to continue, we're going to go outside and expand the footprint. Start by placing a triangle off of each of the triangles to create a star shape. Then you can fill in each of the gaps with 2 triangles to create a larger hexagon. From the front door, we're going to head 3 triangles away and then build our entrance. Place a wall in the middle, a door frame on the right, and a window frame on the left. Then you can wall in your jump up. And place 2 final walls. Throw in some frames for garage doors. And then throw in a ceiling, of course leaving out your jump up. Then you can place in all your doors and windows. Beside your jump up, we can build a loot room. Start with a half wall and a floor in the middle. Then you can place full walls on the sides. Then skip a triangle and build another loot room. And lastly, you can do the same thing to the core entrance side. And this is what the base should be looking like so far. 2 of these extra triangles are going to be unlootable lockers, and 1 of them will be our jump up. Next we can add metal walls all the way around the hexagon. Then we can build our loot rooms so that we have some more bulk space. Stand on the center triangle and you can place a frame on each side. Then you can add a half height triangle beside that. Then place frames on the middle triangle. And 2 more triangles at half height. Then do the same thing you did at the bottom. Then you can add a frame and 2 walls at the sides. And then to split them up, add half walls on top. Then you can give your whole loot room a ceiling. Then build the same loot room on this side as well. And finally, there's one last loot room beside your airlock. Next I'm going to show you the box placement for one of the loot rooms, and then you can just copy it all the way around. And that completes one loot room, just go ahead and do that to all the other ones. Next we're going to build our jump up so that we can secure the base. Pick the open triangle that's furthest away from your entrance and add in a floor. Then you need to create a half height jump up with the door frame. The rest of the base can get a ceiling on top. And you can add walls around your jump up and a door frame. Then you can secure it with the door at the top. Feel free to place in a couple more frames coming from your airlock, and then you can place in all the doors for this level. If you want to make your base a little bit stronger and you have more metal lying about, you can fill this section with door frames and add garage doors, but it's not completely necessary. For the next step, you're going to need 2 lockers and 4 vending machines. Once you've got what you need, make your way over to another open triangle and add a floor. Then take out your locker and push it as far back as it can go. If you placed it correctly, you should be able to get a window frame in front. And once your window frame is placed, you can add a lock on top. Then you're going to place 2 vending machines in front and try and leave a small gap in between them. Place your first vending machine as far back as you can, right to the edge. Then place your second one with a small gap in the middle. You should be able to access the locker and the code lock in between the vending machines. Then just rotate them and you can use these as storage as well. You guys can use this triangle for whatever you'd like, or you can just repeat what we just did there and have 2 vending machines. Once you've done that, that completes the second floor of the base. Try and place some turrets around here if you can. Next we're going to jump up and work on the bedrooms. To start off this floor, we're going to place a jump up directly in front. Then we're going to add a door frame beside each of the jump ups. Then on each side of the middle, we're going to place a wall. And then we can wall in the perimeter of the hexagon. Then we're going to add door frames all the way around the hexagon and inside. Then you can add a ceiling on top of everything apart from your jump up. For this section, you're going to want to craft up a couple of beds and some batteries. In each of the spare triangles, we're going to place 2 batteries. And beside each battery, we're going to place a locker. This section can easily be swapped out with furnaces if you'd prefer that. Then you can take out your bed and place it in the back side of each corner. There should also be room for a locker inside each bedroom. Then you can throw down all the doors of this floor. Again, you can add a turret to defend this floor underneath the jump up. Before we continue, we'll add an airlock in this section of the roof as well. Start by placing a half wall in towards the base. Then you can add a window on top. Then place door frames at each side. Finally add a ceiling on top. Then you can place in your doors to make this area secure. Once you've gotten to this stage, we're going to do some honeycombing to the main hexagon. Make your way down to the bottom side and we're just going to do 2 triangles of honeycombing on each side. This is the floor plan for the honeycombing. Just go ahead and raise everything up by 2 walls all the way around. Next, we're going to add 3 external TCs to help to stop griefing, and they also create our Widegapped shooting floor. We're going to do these TCs on 3 sides of the base, and we're going to start from the front entrance. On the middle triangle of the front entrance, we're going to build out with 2 squares. Then we're going to cap it off with a triangle, and break the squares beforehand. Then from the triangle we placed, we're going to create a hexagon beside the base. Then we're going to place 4 triangles on each side and delete 2 of them. Then you can break the back triangle and replace it with a square. This is the shape that we're aiming to get beside the base. The square at the back is going to be our gatehouse, and you can make it as basic as you want. You guys can build any TC of your choice, or you can copy the one that I'm going to use. I'll have it linked in the description down below. Once you've got your wide gapping linked up to an external TC of your choice, you can just repeat that on the remaining 2 sides. This is what the base should look like with all the wide gapping done. If your gatehouses are made, then you can go ahead and slap a compound around the whole thing. Once you've built your compound, place some furnaces in the corners. Next, we're going to follow a pattern all the way around the base of full wall, half wall. Clearly I didn't do a smashing job explaining this, but basically what I meant was where the 3 triangles are of the honeycombing, the one in the middle is either going to have a half wall or a full wall, and we're just going to alternate them around the base for symmetry, and later on they're going to help build the shooting floor. Start at the entrance with a full wall, and then to the next set of honeycombing we're going to place in a half wall. Then just follow that pattern all the way around, and if you've done that correctly you should have full wall, half wall all the way around the base. On top of the half walls, we're going to place a turret. And if you guys have done this section correctly, you should have a turret pointing at each one of your furnaces. On each side of the wide gap, we're going to place in 2 frames and raise them up by 3. Then on the center, we're going to place 2 frames. Next to your turret, you can also place 2 frames. And then just repeat the same steps all the way around. These are all the frames that you're going to need to place in order to build the shooting floor. Once you think you're ready to go, make your way over to the smaller frames and we're going to place a window on top. Next we're going to place in 3 triangles coming off of each side of the base. And then you can place in 2 triangles on each of your wide gapping, and then we can surround the whole perimeter with window frames. On the lower sides we're going to place a double window frame. And then you can place in all of your embrasures as well. Next we're going to surround the inner hexagon in half walls. And then you can add floors on top. We're going to surround this section with window frames except for 2 door frames on each side. Then you can place in your embrasures and your doors. And then you can add a ceiling on top of this section. At the opposite side of your jump up, we're going to place in a couple of frames to separate up this ring. We're going to have 2 exits out onto the shooting floor and you can decide where they go. and then the rest of that ring can get surrounded in walls. Then you can add a ceiling on top and place in your doors and windows. Before we add a ceiling on top of the shooting floor, we're going to add in a couple of frames. We also need to build jump ups to get up to the roof, and we're going to build those where the 3 high window frames are. Make your way over to one of them, and you're going to place 2 triangles and a frame in the middle. Then you can place 2 full walls on each side and a half wall in the middle. On one side place in a door frame, and on the opposite side you're going to place in a window frame. Then add 2 door frames on the front. You can also bring over a half wall for a tower to sit on. Then throw a ceiling on top and place in some doors and windows. Place a garage door in front of your turret pod and make sure it faces in the way. Then build 2 more on the opposite sides. Once you've built those, you can fill in the rest of the roof pieces. At this point the base is basically finished and there's only a few more things left to do. On top of each of the airlocks we're going to add in some windmill slots. The center triangle is going to get surrounded in frames, and then you can place a triangle on top. Then place one more triangle facing out the way. Then you can throw your windmill on top. And then just add 2 more of those. To finish the base off, we're going to add in some roof slants. Come inside the shooting floor because it makes it easier to place them. On each of the corners, we're going to do 2 triangles going in the way. And then in the center, we'll do 2 squares going out the way. To finish off the base, add in one last roof. And once you've done all that, that completes the base design. Hopefully you boys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, please feel free to drop a like and a sub, it would help me out a ton. I really hope to see this base set there on some servers. I worked hard on this one. Remember to check out Saloon and use my code down below, and I'll see you boys next time.